Hello, hello, everyone. Here we are. Welcome, welcome to another Midlife Mojo Mondays at the 2 p.m.-ish hour. Thank you for those of you who are coming back and joining us with our little bit of tech difficulty. I always appreciate it. But just know that every single Monday, I am here at the 2 p.m.-ish hour, providing you with some kind of education, demonstration, or special guest. And my mission, especially this year, is to really grow Midlife Mojo into the #1 education, resource, and support center for women over 40. And part of that is by bringing on top-notch people just to share their message with you, something that I think can help you in your health, your happiness, something that can help you find your midlife mojo. And I'm really excited for my guest this week to share her message. Because as you know, every week in the Midlife Mojo group, we have a loose-based theme. And this week's theme is time is short. And us as midlife women, right, we are here in the second half of our lives. Maybe for the first time, we've got a little more freedom. We're becoming empty nesters, a little more time on our hands. Or maybe the opposite. Maybe now we're taking care of older parents and so forth, and we feel like we don't have enough time. But what we tend to do is plow through life. And so my guest today, CarrieVee as she's known, is going to talk to you a little bit about listening to your body whispers. Now, typically you'll see me sometimes do an interview, but today I'm excited because I'm going to turn the Midlife Mojo show over to CarrieVee. But first, I'm going to read you a little bit about her. So CarrieVee is a motivational speaker, author, podcaster, and certified transformation forgiveness and REBT coach. And she helps those who have forgotten how to dream, overcome their excuses, and live the life they were created to live. She is the founder of the Radical Empowerment Method, an online program designed to walk people through the exact method she herself used to move from a life of feeling invisible to a life of empowered success and action. Her first book, A 30-Day Guide to Gratitude, is available on Amazon, and it explains how the daily practice of written gratitude can and will transform your life. After going from a burned-out corporate general manager to seizing opportunities and creating the life she had been dreaming of, CarrieVee uses her experience to motivate and lead others on a journey of radical empowerment. She's a Toastmaster semifinalist in the 2020 World Championship of Speaking, as well as a keynote speaker of Toastmasters. In addition, she competed in the Summit of Slay speaking competition and was chosen as one of the top 4 speakers. CarrieVee has been published in the second edition of 88 Ways Music Can Change Your Life, also available on Amazon, and she has spoken on numerous stages to both men and women. Her second book, The Radical Empowerment Method, is set to launch in 2021. So I'm excited to bring on CarrieVee. Let me do this, and here we go.
Hello and thank you.
Yay. All right. Well, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And I am so excited for my audience and for myself to get to know you a little bit more. As you know, like my business is Midlife Mojo, our Midlife Mojo Mondays. And just a little bit that I've learned about you, I can already tell you are definitely a woman with mojo. So what I am going to do, ladies, is I'm going to skedaddle and go off screen and just turn it over to CarrieVee and let her just talk to you for the next 30 minutes or so and hang around because I know she's got a special gift at the end to share with you that I'm really excited and I think that you all enjoy. So you guys enjoy and I am going off and it's all yours.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. And for those of you who came back, thank you. Love technical difficulties. I am going to take you back to my childhood. What I have planned to talk with you about today is something very, very, very dear to my heart and something that I am praying will inspire you to take inspired action. But knowing that time is short is the motto and the theme. I want to take you back to my childhood, and you'll understand why in just a moment. When I was growing up, I had 2 older brothers, Billy and Timmy. They like to be called Bill and Tim, but they were Billy and Timmy to me, always have been, always will be. And my brothers and I could have amazing fun with anything that we could find laying around the house. And when I was a little girl, I had this vision of the three of us sitting on one of our front porches, grandchildren running around, laughing, and begging us to tell stories from our childhood. And we would oblige. And we would tell them stories much like this one. When we would take my dad's oversized t-shirts, put them on, shove pillows up inside them to give ourselves big bellies. That was always my idea, always. And we would put these t-shirts on, give ourselves big bellies. Then we would jump up and down on my mom's furniture and we would sing, well, he's bad, bad, Leroy Brown, baddest man in the whole town. We weren't allowed to cuss. So we were required to leave that word out. We would sing that song, drop to the floor in laughter, and then get up and do it all over again. And as a little girl, I had that future vision of us telling our grandchildren these stories, and they would be laughing. And it was so real to me. That vision was so real to me. I could see it, I could touch it, I could feel it. I could hear our grandchildren laughing, and I could smell the coffee in our cups. And then my oldest brother, Billy, was diagnosed with end-stage terminal colon cancer. And when he was just 48 years old, my dream of that vision ever coming true died when Billy died. That occurrence in my life was extremely impactful. Billy and I were very close. And when he died, there was this void in my heart, and nothing came close to filling it. A few months after Billy died, I had a dream. And in this dream, I walked into a restaurant, and seated with his back to me was this gentleman with his legs crossed. And I knew immediately it was my brother Billy. It was the way that he laughed, the way the crowd leaned into him and hung on every word he said, the sound of his voice. I knew it was my brother. And I kept trying to get his attention. I was calling his name and I was poking him on the shoulder, and he was completely ignoring me. And I finally I circled around in front of him, and I planted my hands on my hips in my dream. And I demanded of him, Billy Burger, why won't you talk to me? I just want to invite you to our house for dinner. Billy, I miss you. Why won't you listen to me? From his seated position, Billy looked up at me and he said, because I died. Don't you remember I died? I'm only here to give you a message. Life is short, little sister. Choose wisely. Life is short, little sister. Choose wisely. You see, we think we have all the time in the world to make better choices. But the truth is, we have today. The truth is, we have this moment, this breath. That breath you just took, that's what you're guaranteed. You're not even guaranteed tonight, but you're guaranteed right now. And there's power in every single choice that we make. If you knew that today was your last chance to make any choice at all, would it impact how you made those choices? There's so much power in every single day and every single choice that we make. If my brother were standing in front of you, he would ask you if you could see all of the diseases that are headed towards you due to your lifestyle choices. Would you continue to make the choices you're making, or would you make better choices? If you knew that fight with your loved one are the last words you'd ever have with them, would you continue the fight, or would you choose to reconcile and choose laughter? If you could see every missed opportunity neatly laid out in front of you, alphabetized on a spreadsheet, would you continue to shrink back in fear, or would you seize the opportunities and change your life? We make thousands of choices every day. And we have the opportunity to change our own lives and the lives of everyone around us when we make wise choices. My brother's message to me, life is short, little sister, choose wisely. Just before Billy died, I had made a promise to him a week before he died. I made a promise to my brother Billy that I would spend the rest of my life pouring into the lives of others to help them choose more life while they still had more life to live, because his time was over and he knew that. And what he wanted was for everyone to hear the message that life is short. Choose wisely. Time is short. Choose wisely. It took me many years after Billy died to get out of my own way and make good on the promises that I was making to him, or that I made to him. My father died 4 years after my brother died, and he again took my hand and said, "You made a promise. You made a promise. When are you going to listen and do what you were created to do and who you were created to become? Stop being so afraid." The title of what I brought to present to you today is, Are you listening to your body whispers? Our bodies talk to us. My brother's body talked to him. But here's the thing. The noise around us is so loud. And the noise around us takes over every fiber, every being, every brain cell, to the point where we're not listening to our body anymore. And it's giving us clear signs and clear messages. And we don't listen. And then we almost get angry when we think it has turned on us or has betrayed us, when all along it's been trying to get our attention. When my brother was diagnosed with cancer, I remember saying to him, "Billy, were there no signs? Were there no signs?" Yeah, there were. There was blood in the stool. There was massive weight loss. But he'd always been trying to lose weight, so he just thought it was finally kicking in. There was extreme fatigue, but he traveled a lot for work. There was always an excuse, because the noise was so loud, because he traveled a lot for work, because there was so much else going on in life, because he didn't have his ears open, which he knew, which was part of the message he wanted me to pour into others. And then here's where I found myself. A liver injury that no one could explain. No one knew why it happened. I was tested for everything, hepatitis and liver cancer and whatever else there was, days and days and days of testing, and no one could figure out what was going on in my body. I could barely make it up a flight of steps. But it started to resolve itself. I say resolve loosely because I never got back to optimal liver function, but I could get by. And I forgot what it felt like to feel really, really good. That was soon after my brother died. And we all decided to blame it on stress and that it would come back. It got better, but it didn't become optimal. And then so my brother died in 2010, just so you know the time frame that we're working with. Because in 2019, end of 2019 and 2020 is when I started to really delve in and make good on this promise to my brother, because I realized life is short. Life is short. I am 55 years old. I'm well into my midlife mojo. And how much time do I have? Well, I don't know, and nobody knows. But what I do know is that every single day for the rest of my life, I will spend getting this message out there that life is short. We must choose wisely. Life is short. Time is short. So I had this liver injury, and then we get to 2017, and I decided I was going to enter a Spartan race. I didn't even know what it was, but some people at church asked me if I would join their team. I said, okay. We're driving up to the ski resort place in New York, and I'm looking around at all these things, and I finally looked at the guy sitting next to me and I said, "What's a Spartan race?" I had no idea. I just decided to say yes. It sounded fun. I love to work out. I do it every day. I'll join a Spartan race. Well, it was the coldest day in history in March at the ski resort. It was about -2 degrees and very windy. We had had 2 weeks of 60-degree weather, and then the ground froze again. So we're standing in line waiting to do a Spartan race. And I don't know if you've ever done a Spartan race, but they let you go in groups. And the first thing you have to do is scale this big, tall wall and then drop down, and then you race up a mountain. That's the first thing you do. So we got over and we started racing up the hill. By now it's about -4 degrees. It was so cold you couldn't feel anything. And I had gone out the night before. I got all this special gear for cold weather. My husband begged me not to go, but I went. In my head, I knew, and my body was clearly telling me, do not do this. Do not do this. But the noise of the team and the noise of I can't let my team down overtook everything. So I found myself racing up this mountain in this frigid air that was literally freezing my lungs. I could barely breathe. We get to the top of the mountain and we start to come down. It had been warm. So there were ruts where the ice had melted and caused ruts, but now they were frozen solid. And coming down that hill, my feet went out from under me. I came down, landed on my wrist, except I landed on this part of my wrist. And I literally, like a gunshot in my head when my wrist snapped. I continued down the mountain though, because I was going to finish this race. And I fell on it a second time, totally displacing it. So I left that race in an ambulance where they had to reset my wrist in a cast up to my shoulder for 3 months. Didn't heal right. And I ended up in surgery in September where they cut a piece of my ulnar bone out. Now you'd think I'd be listening, right? Now I have a liver injury and a majorly broken wrist that I've had operated on. Am I listening to my body? Because it's still talking to me. No, I just kept going. I just kept going. I just kept going. This arm, my right arm, finally healed in September. It took a full year from surgery. So now we're at September 2018. And I found myself working out in my home gym area, which at that time was not finished. It was a concrete floor. And I was doing side shuffles where the trainer then said, go faster. So what does Carrie do? She goes faster. But Carrie's body had been telling her that entire workout, you need to stop. I was dizzy. I was absolutely exhausted from lack of sleep, working a corporate job still, working insanely stupid hours for a company where I was totally disrespected. We're going to get to that in a minute. Total, incredible lack of sleep. Over and over lack of sleep. I'm talking working till 3, 4 in the morning and then getting up at 5 or 5:30 so that I could work out before I went to work because I wanted to take care of my body. And I know you are hearing this going, wait a minute, that's not taking care of your body. Exactly. And that's what my body was trying to tell me, but I wasn't listening. So I went faster and I went and I landed on my left wrist and snapped it in a cast up to my shoulder. It didn't heal right. And so this past February, almost a year ago, same operation on my left wrist where they cut the ulnar bone, shortened it, and another year of recovery on this wrist. That should have been enough. I should have been listening. I should have been listening. But I kept going. I kept going. And throughout 2020, I had this massive unexplained weight gain, 50 pounds. Now, the part of my story I left out is that I grew up very, very overweight. And when I was about 39, I lost 100 pounds. And for all that time, I kept it off until this past year, where the weight just kept piling on and piling on and piling on. And I had no idea why. But I didn't listen. I just worked out harder and ate less and got mad at my body for betraying me. But who was betraying who? Hormones that were incredibly out of whack. I knew they were, but I just kept going. Doing what I believed, what I convinced myself was all I needed to do. I was eating very healthy foods, working out every day, and drinking a ton of water. And I just kept doing what I assumed I knew. So this past fall, I hired a naturopath to work with, where she tested my hormones. And what she said when she got my hormone panel back was, your hormones are so low. Your estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone are so low, they're barely reaching a 1. You are a walking time bomb for cancer. And she started to work with me on really listening to my body and really taking a step back. She took me off all workouts except for gentle walking or yoga nidra, which is basically taking a nap. And I started to listen. I started to listen. In the meantime of all of this, I was scheduled for a routine screening colonoscopy, which I kept rescheduling. I rescheduled it 4 times from last summer until December when I finally had it done. I also had been putting off genetic testing that they had asked me almost 2 years ago to take this genetic testing because there was so much cancer in our family. So many cancers of the same kind: colon cancer, ovarian cancer, uterine cancer, throughout my mom's side of the family, just person after person dying very young from these things. I myself had a hysterectomy in 2009 for precancerous tumors in my uterus. But I didn't take it seriously. One doctor who caught it said, you need to have this genetic counseling done. Of course, because the noise around me was so loud, I put it off, even though my body was saying, please take care of me. Please take care of me. I finally went in for my colonoscopy because they told me they couldn't reschedule it anymore, because I had like a 6-month time window where you met with the nurse practitioner and you could actually have the procedure done. But I've had colonoscopies every 5 years since I was 35 years old. So I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think anything of it until December 13th at 8 o'clock at night. December 13th, 2020 at 8 o'clock at night. When my phone rang, and I didn't know who it was, but I answered it anyway. And it was my doctor, who said, that tiny polyp I removed that I was pretty sure was nothing is invasive cancer. Wait a minute, what? No, I choose healthy foods, I drink water, and I work out every day. I can't have cancer. But I had cancer. And by the way, the genetic testing that you finally did, listen, ladies, all I had to do was spit in a test tube. That's all. I finally did it. And it came back with a genetic abnormality in the MLH1 gene, which means Lynch syndrome. Lynch syndrome, which predisposes me for colon cancer, uterine cancer, and ovarian cancer by like 80%. It's like the BRCA gene for breast cancer. That's what this gene mutation is for colon, ovarian, uterine. And there's some other ones in there in your abdominal cavity, but those are the biggies. Wow. Okay. My body had been telling me for a long time to listen, but I refused to listen because the noise around me, everything I wanted to do, but I'm building my business, but I have coaching clients and I'm speaking here and I'm writing this book and I'm doing great things. And my body was saying, can you please listen to me? We have some things going on inside. We have some major things going on inside. We need to take care of these things because all these plans you have for the future, Carrie, you can't do them without me. You can't do everything you want to do if you destroy the housing of who you are. And that's what our bodies are. They house who we are. And without them, we can't do what we are created to do. And we can't become who we're created to become if we kill off the shell that we live in. We're not hermit crabs. We can't crawl out and just choose another shell. This is the only one we get. This is it. I finally listened. I finally took a step back and said, okay, I'm listening. But I was angry at first. I said to my body, how could you betray me like this? I've been taking care of you for years. And my body whispered back, you've been taking care of me for years? You hardly sleep. You are so sleep deprived for years and years and years. You're sleep deprived. You hardly sleep. You don't give me enough food. You just keep feeding me less and less and less. You don't listen to me. You've had so much gas and bloating, but you're not listening to me. Your stools have changed consistency. And I'm sorry if that sounds gross to you, but I'm going to give you real talk. That is what was going on. My body said, why didn't you listen to me? Your bones obviously were not as strong as they should have been. Why weren't you listening to me? Your hormones are a mess from stress, from lack of sleep, from saying you're doing everything right, but you were ignoring me. So who betrayed who? And I had to take a step back and say, okay, body, okay, I'm listening. I'm listening. I was convinced, I fooled myself that I was truly listening to my body, but I was not. I was convinced just leaving corporate America was what I needed to do. And I did need to do that. But for years, I allowed bosses and coworkers to totally disrespect me. And I would lay awake at night stressing over paying health insurance for the company I worked for because the funds weren't there. It wasn't my problem, but I took it on as mine. And I would literally lose sleep because this company didn't have the money to keep going, but I took it on as my problem. It wasn't my problem, but I was destroying the temple I live in. But I thought it was okay because I drank water and drank a great shake every day and got up and worked out, even if I only had an hour of sleep. Oh, there's my badge of honor. That's not a badge of honor. That's a badge of stupidity. That's a badge of disrespect to our bodies. That's what all of those things were. So leaving corporate America was the first step. But I didn't learn to control the stress level in my life. My elderly mother lives with us. We moved her in 3 years ago. You want some stress in your life? Move an elderly parent in with you. But there are ways to deal with the stress. There are ways if you grab hold of them, if you take them. We are kidding ourselves if we think that all it is food, water, and exercise. And I'm not poo-pooing those things. Please understand that. Those things are a piece of taking care of ourselves, but it's a small piece. Yes, we need to choose healthy. We need to have the things in our life that create health and wellness in us. I'm a huge believer in essential oils. Huge. I have essential oils in front of me all the time. I will grab one and it brings me into a calm sense, but I didn't do that for a long time. Now I understand that there's so much more to this than food, water, and exercise, sleep, stress reduction, joy, laughter. There are so many things that go into being the healthiest we can be because life is short and we must choose wisely. It's not an option. It is not an option. So when your body is talking to you, and here's the thing, I called it, are you listening to your body whispers? Listen, your body's always going to whisper to you. It doesn't get louder and louder and louder, but the messages become more urgent. It is up to us to turn off the noise around us, to lessen that noise and listen to what our body is telling us, because your body keeps the score. Your body keeps the score. So if your body is keeping the score, how do we hear the messages before they become urgent, like you have cancer? That'll rock your world. That'll turn things upside down. I started listening, finally, with the phone call that said you have cancer and a gene mutation. I was listening. Okay, you've got my attention. All of a sudden, all those things that seemed so important and all those things that I was allowing to stress myself out, like if my mom didn't turn her water off all the way or something, Those things didn't matter so much anymore. So turn the faucet off. So turn the light off. So what if she dragged toilet paper across the room? None of it mattered anymore. They were small things that could be controlled. Now I was listening. And it meant surgery. It meant having the entire right side of my colon removed and planning another surgery to have my ovaries removed proactively. It meant really listening, but here's the thing. If I had gotten the genetic testing done when they first asked me, I would have been having yearly screenings, yearly colonoscopies, and they would have found that polyp while it was still a polyp before it turned into cancer. With this gene mutation, in my family, if you have it, which I do, it means that a polyp will turn into cancer about 5 times faster than it would for the normal person. Or a polyp that would never turn into cancer for someone without the gene mutation will always turn into cancer in me. Most likely, if I'd gotten the genetic testing when they said you need to have this done, they would have found that polyp before it was cancer. But I wasn't listening then. But I'm listening now. Now I am learning to be in tune with my body, and I'm hoping that what I am sharing with you has you thinking, I need to be in tune with my body. I must be in tune with who I am, what houses the person I am becoming. Because this is all we have. And if we don't treat it right, it has no choice but to break down. I had no idea that cancer was brewing inside of me, but it should have. I should have. A simple Google of everything I was feeling and, okay, would have led to check colon cancer. There was probably a list. And the reason I know this is because I actually did the work. I actually did Google it. But I dismissed colon cancer. Oh no, I'm so healthy. I eat right, I drink water, and I work out. And I get screenings every 5 years. There is no way I'm ever having colon cancer. That's how arrogant I was. I'm not so arrogant anymore. Because now I know there's so much more to choosing wisely, and there is so much more to being our healthiest selves. So how do we really listen? How do we really, really listen to our bodies? I believe there are 3 key ways that we can tune in and listen to our bodies. We have one body, one life. And if we want our bodies to be around for a long time, if we want our bodies to be with us with all the things that we have planned to do, maybe it's taking our grandchildren to amusement parks. I can't wait to do that. I can't wait for COVID to lift and I can take my grandson out to amusement parks the way my parents took my kids out. There are so many things I want to do, so many things that have taken great importance in my life now. This could have ended very different for me. If I had not gone in for that screening, if I waited another year, it would have been too late. It would have been end stage like my brother's was. I never want anyone to hear those words, ever. I want you to just borrow my diagnosis and make the change in your life based on my diagnosis. Feel free to borrow it and make the changes as if. Make the changes in your life as if you never have to hear those words. And if you have heard those words or you've had a major, major life pivot like that, what are you doing with it? We must make the changes if we're going to go forward with the rest of our lives as strong, amazing, healthy individuals. I understand there are no guarantees. I also know that we have the power and the knowledge. If we put our knowledge into practice, we have all the knowledge and all the power to make a better life and more amazing choices for ourselves and to help those around us. This is my passion. This is my absolute passion. My life changed dramatically December 13th, 2020 at 8 p.m. So much has happened from then. I came home from surgery with COVID. I got COVID in the hospital. I still can't taste or smell anything. My body is still talking to me. There are still days that I get up and I can barely move. I'm so fatigued. The surgery was 3 weeks ago. COVID was 3 weeks ago. There are lasting effects, but when it hits me, I'm done. I go and I go lay down. I'm listening now because now I understand my goals, everything I want to accomplish, every person I want to pour into only happens if I take care of the shell. And it's the same for you. How much are you truly respecting this body? How much are you truly, truly respecting and listening? 3 keys. Number 1 is laughter. And I am talking a deep belly rolling laughter 3 times a day. Start with 1 and move up to at least 3 times a day. I don't care if you do this 50 times a day, but get in at least 3 good belly rolls. Watch something funny, listen to something funny, find the funny in your life. This has been an amazing exercise in our household. We have my mom, she came with her 2 cats. We have me and my husband and our 10-year-old dog. There are a lot of opportunities to laugh if we choose to make them opportunities to laugh, because we can have them as opportunities to be totally stressed out and totally angry, or we can take a step back and find the funny in the situation. If you find the funny, if you choose to find the funny, it's there. Every day, laugh and laugh a lot. Deep belly rolls. They say laughter is the best medicine for good reason. Nothing reduces stress like a good belly roll of laughter. Nothing energizes you like laughter will. It creates a joyful environment. And even in times of extreme stress, you can find the laughter. When my brother Bill died, at his funeral, the people that came through the line and would share funny stories about him, we laughed. We were not disrespecting my brother. We were honoring his memory. And when my dad died, the same. We found opportunities to laugh amidst our grief. It didn't mean we weren't hurting. Absolutely we were. But the laughter made it easier. But I have forgotten that message many, many, many times. And so I have embraced it. And I have funny things on my desk. I have reminders on my phone, alarms that go off to laugh. So I'll find a funny video to laugh at. I will find something every day to laugh at. Number 1 key is laughter. Number 2 is journaling. Really getting your feelings out on paper, not typing, not speaking it into your notes section, but grabbing a physical journal and a pen and writing out your feelings, your deepest feelings. Here's what happens when you do that. You're writing out how you're feeling. You're being totally truthful. This is your journal. You are being totally truthful with yourself and how you're feeling. Your brain then will create neural pathways to find solutions, even while you're sleeping. It is the coolest thing. You will literally dream about solutions. Or while you're writing, I call it a brain dump. I believe a lot of people do. In the morning or in the evening, either one, brain dump. Everything that's in your brain. And sometimes mine starts with, I'm cold this morning. The coffee isn't as hot as I wish it was. I wish I could sit in this coffee. I'm so cold. Literally crazy stuff. You get all of that off, and then your brain goes deeper and you just keep writing and you dump everything that's in your head out on paper. Some of my best ideas have come from brain dumps. Journaling it out. Journal. You want to be in tune with your body? Dump your brain out onto paper. It's going to tell you. And then you're going to feel things like, I still am nauseous almost every morning from the COVID that I had, the COVID virus. I would have, in December 12th and beyond and before that, I would have completely ignored that nausea as, oh, I'll just eat some crackers and it'll go away. No, I'm listening to my body. It means sit down. It means rest. It means you're not over this yet. Journal everything that's in your brain out onto paper. Number 1 is laughter, and number 2 is journaling, and number 3 is gratitude. Literally, nothing will ground you and keep you more focused and more in tune than with your body than a daily practice of written gratitude. There's that pen again. Written gratitude, both for things that have happened and for things that will happen. In the morning, I will always start with something that I am grateful for that has happened. I am extremely, extremely grateful that when I did contract COVID, it didn't ever go into my lungs. I am thankful for the things that I can start to smell, which isn't much, but I'm thankful for that it's coming back some. And my future gratitude, I will write, and I'm thankful that my sense of smell and taste are back 100%. I am grateful for that in the future. That's my future gratitude. I am grateful for all of the women that I have the opportunity to pour into today. I am grateful for the women that join me in my Confidence and Clarity group coaching program today. I write out future gratitude as if it's already happened. And I also write the things that I'm grateful for that have already happened. Both of them are equally powerful and equally grounding. And they will be for you too, but write them. Because when you take pen to paper, it travels. It travels up your arm into your brain and cements it into place. And your brain will literally bring it back. There are opportunities to create this gratitude every single day. What if you're grateful for your dirty dishes and your laundry to put away? What if you created gratitude around those things? I am so grateful for these dirty dishes because it means I had food to eat today. I'm so grateful for all this laundry I have to put away because it means I have so many clothes to choose from. I am grateful that I need to clean my closet out because I have abundance. I'm grateful for the clutter because it means I have a lot. What if we turned that around and our brain could say, "Oh, she's so thankful." We're in tune now. Now when our body whispers, the gratitude makes us more able and more likely to listen deeper. What if our gratitude focused on who we are becoming rather than a to-do list, which is exactly what written gratitude will do. And when you practice a daily practice of written gratitude, gratitude starts to overcome your entire life. And you find yourself putting it into practice without even thinking about it. So here is a real life for example. For example, yesterday, I was standing in line at Dunkin' Donuts because I had gone grocery shopping. And apparently now, at least in this Dunkin' Donuts, they want you to do your order ahead of time. So they were all behind the counter. Is it either drive-through or pre-orders took precedence? And there were two of us standing there who were just waiting to order a cup of coffee. Literally, that's all I wanted was a cup of coffee for the drive home from the grocery store. And they had to rules do all the drive-throughs and all the pre-orders before they could wait on us. And there were a lot of them. And the woman in front of me was getting really antsy. And she turned to me and she said, "Can you believe this?" And I said, "Well, here's the cool part about it. Because they're doing all those orders first, they're making new coffee. So when they get to us, we get fresh coffee." And she just started laughing and you could see her stress immediately go away. That would not have been me a year ago. I would have been right with her, complaining and mumbling and groaning and complaining and causing the stress to build up in my body, which is noise, which means no longer listening to your body. It's all this cycle. Nothing is going to ground you like written gratitude grounds you. Laughter, journaling, and written gratitude. 3 keys to grounding yourself to the point where you're actually listening and then being able to hear what your body is telling you. 3 keys. To me, gratitude is so important that I have based many, many of my keynotes around gratitude. I believe in it so much. I created an online course entitled Unlimited Gratitude. And for all of you here, I believe that there's going to be a code coming up, or there we go. There's the website and the code. There's the website. The code is coffee100. At checkout, we'll give you 100% off the purchase price. And part of that online course is a bonus that is 21 days of bonus gratitude journal prompts. So you get your gratitude and you get your journaling, and there is going to be a lot of information on laughter in there. Your 3 keys in that online course with its bonus. I have also written a 30-day guide to gratitude journal, which is available on Amazon. If you just put my name into Amazon, it will pop right up. At the end of that journal, there are pages for notes, which is the most awesome place to do your 21 extra gratitude prompts at the end of that book. I hope that this has gotten into your heart and that you understand listening to your body is key. And the way that you listen to your body is to tune yourself in with laughter and journaling and gratitude. Listen to your body. You get one. You get one shell. And if you want this body to keep up with everything you want to do in life, you have to treat it right. And it's not just about food and water and exercise. It's about sleep and stress reduction and joy and laughter and gratitude and journaling. There's so much to it. Thank you all. I love you. I am your biggest fan, and I am so thankful to have spent this time with you today. Thank you.
Well, that was just so amazing. I mean, I'm sitting there the whole time. I'm like, no, you can't butt in, Jill. You can't butt in, Jill. So I had all these things I wanted to ask and go, but what an amazing journey you have had. And I hope that you ladies who are listening, I know that I saw myself in all of that journey without a doubt. And I'm sure many of you guys did too. And it really, I hope that you take what she said to heart, right? Listening to our bodies, because like you said, if you hadn't, what would have your outcome been? A lot different, right?
A lot different.
So, and it's so easy just to plow through our daily life and just keep going and ignore that noise. So it was a perfect message to share with my midlife ladies. And I thank you so much. I'm just going to take you off screen, hang out there in the green room for just a second, and I'm going to wrap things up here, ladies. So wonderful. Well, there we go. Another Midlife Mojo Mondays in the book. I hope that you guys got a lot out of that. I know that I did. And just sharing with you a little bit of what I've got coming up this week. This Saturday is the very first in the 6-class series of teaching all about essential oils and education, as well as doing demonstrations on how to use your oils specifically for the midlife woman, as well as doing cooking demonstrations. Myself and Chef Mary Mick have put together Midlife and Munchies class series, and our very first one this Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern time the topic is called Sizzling Sex. So you've got me for about an hour to talk to you all about the midlife woman and sex, things to do with our libido, vaginal dryness, but also spicing things up. Also maybe some issues for him. And I'm going to do a demonstration on how to make an edible massage oil just in time for Valentine's Day. And then Chef Mary is going to come on and she's going to do 2 demonstrations. And she's going to cook using the Young Living Essential Oils, Vitality Oils. Those are the ones that are specifically for ingestion. And she's going to show you how to make a citrus-infused whipped cream and hot fudge. So we are all about spicing up our Valentine's Day. If you ladies are interested in that, you can go on in the Midlife Mojo group. I've posted it. I've also emailed you or just messaged me and I'll send you the link for that. But that is that. Until next week, I hope that you guys have a wonderful week, that you take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and just, keep working on finding that midlife mojo. And I am going to send you